Testimony today that could prove the innocence of a man who spent nearly 30 years in prison. Lamar Johnson was convicted of a 1994 murder in Dutchtown. Today, many took to the streets advocating for his release.
It is a hearing putting the criminal courts building in downtown St. Louis in the spotlight, all in an effort to prove Johnson was wrongfully convicted.
Russell Kinsall on this case tonight and has some of the explosive testimony. Russell.
Late this afternoon, the man who was the key witness at the murder trial said he couldn't identify who the shooters were, but he was pressured by police to name Johnson and another man. And a man named James Howard said that Johnson had nothing to do with that murder because he and another man were the two killers.
Did Lamar Johnson kill Marcus Boyd?
No.
Who did?
Philip and me.
Why did you decide to sign the affidavits?
Because I was trying to right my wrongs that I'd done to him. That's pretty much why I was signing.
A hearing taking place all week to determine if Lamar Johnson was wrongfully convicted of murder. James Howard testified and was adamant that he and a man named Phil Campbell went to rob a man on Louisiana Street, but things went wrong and they shot and killed him. He said he felt badly that Johnson was serving time for a crime that Johnson did not commit. And after Howard received a life sentence for another murder, he signed two different affidavits saying that he, not Johnson, was responsible. He said the two, he and an accomplice, were wearing all black and ski masks and no one could have identified them. The key witness at the trial in 1995 was a man named James Elking, who'd been there at the time of the shooting and who identified the two killers and named Johnson as one of them. Today at the hearing, he said police detectives pressured him into identifying Johnson, and he's felt guilty about that ever since then.
Like I said, I didn't know any of Marcus's friends or anybody that he hung around with or who the shooters were. They had masks on. I couldn't see their faces, and from what I had seen at the murder, no, I did not know who they were.
Elking said police gave him the impression that he might even be charged with a crime if he didn't identify Johnson and an accomplice. So he said he gave in to the pressure. He wanted to help. So whenever they showed him two men and said, "We think those are the two men," he said, "I went along with it because I wanted to help and I trusted police." Corey?
So, Russell, how has the Missouri Attorney General countered this pretty explosive testimony from those two witnesses?
Yeah, so they went about cross-examining James Howard, and they said, well, in your affidavit, there's a discrepancy about the direction you took to get from your house to the suspect's house. And he said, you know, I didn't go over the details whenever I signed it. I was just really wanting to make sure that it said that Johnson had nothing to do with the crimes, and I did. By the way, the accomplice in that shooting was charged and then convicted later of manslaughter because Elking disappeared, didn't testify at that trial, and that man has since died. Live downtown, Russell Kinsall, News 4.
A lot to follow this week with that case. All right, Russell, thank you.